The adventure begins at an archaeology site. They are here to study and extract a portal device that was found on the southern portion of the Wishing Mountains. When they bed down for the night, infiltrators sneak into the camp, and through sleep spells and brute force, the adventurers are manacled and captured. After a long ride, they are placed in prison cells and are forced to work in a crystal mine. 2 weeks go by. They are awoken to crashing sounds above. Their jailer flees through the escape hatch in the ceiling. The adventurers use magical means to escape their prison cells and investigate the cavern. During their escape, they search for food and equipment to benefit them. They find an impassable door with goblins on the other side and a few deceased adventurers that were trying to free them. After noticing that the crashing sounds have stopped from above them, they decide to go through the hatch. They exit the prison and enter a stable with a single mule inside. Upon leaving the stables, they see two giant skeletons that are motionless and lying on the ground. The adventurers begin to search the keep and find it mostly empty, but some equipment is left behind so they can arm themselves. In the top bedroom chamber, they meet a bust of an old woman with a trapped spirit inside it named Hazel. She can talk and feel everything that happens in the keep. As they continue to search for useful items, a scouting party of two hyenas and a gnoll walk into the courtyard. A battle commences and the adventurers prevail, slaying all three but receiving some wounds. The adventurers are now free and are in control of the keep.
Alright, so you guys just got done defeating the gnoll and the two hyenas that came into the keep. Lakemore Keep.
Right.
Yep.
You did not get a chance to search their bodies because we kind of ended right there. So if you want to search their bodies, that's fine.
Yeah, might as well search them and then finish searching the
hyenas obviously don't have much on them, so the only thing.
Can we skin them?
Yeah, you could. I mean,
probably be able to sell their hides.
You can.
Right.
That's something.
I'll go ahead and check the gnoll.
The gnoll has a...
Hold on, is that Lakemore Keep level 1, right?
Level 1, yeah.
One, yeah.
You want to choose that one. The gnoll had hide armor and a shield. And I will add that all stuff to the parcel.
Yeah. Okay.
I wish I could just add it right from the character, but I can't. I didn't.
Looks
make
like
is the hide armor any good for the monks, or?
No, they do no armor. Anytime they wear armor, then it's kind of a disadvantage for them. They lose their bonus to because they have like an unarmored skill. All right, so let's do.
Yeah, and the only thing better than my scale mail is like half plate.
Yeah, I think I've just got leather.
So most likely to be something to sell, if anything.
Is hide better than leather? I don't remember.
I believe so. They might be the same. One gives better dex, though.
Yeah, I don't recall. Let me see.
They're in the parcel items, too.
Yeah, the hide armor's got an AC of 12. So it depends if your armor's better or not. It gets a max of 2 dex bonus.
Inventory.
And if you're going to skin them, just put down hyena skin. If you can make a dex check, whoever's skinning them. Straight up dex, see how good you are.
AC base is 11, and what was the AC base on the hide?
12. So just a little better, it sounds like.
Yeah, I guess I'll take the hide.
Okay, let's. Yeah, it's in the parcel item, so you should be able to go in there and find it. Also, looks like the movement's still locked. Just FYI.
Good.
Oh.
You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Go inside there. There you go.
Okay.
Wrong.
So.
There you go. I'll give you some movement
Oh.
going.
Now the monks could use the spears, right?
They
one
can.
of them.
They can. Yeah. But I think they both have some type of quarterstaff right now. So.
Yeah.
Han, do you want that spear?
I'd rather take the longbow, honestly.
Y'all take
Okay.
whichever.
There is
anything else
10. There's 10 arrows.
Okay. Anything extra, I'll just put in the bag of holding. So
Let's see. We will put that instead of 20. Let me put 10 in there. There we go.
since
Okay.
we leveled up, that's one of my bonuses now. So I got the bag of holding.
Yeah, you
I
have
don't
a bag
know
of
if I have
holding.
a shield back yet or not.
I think you are. You do have a shield.
Yeah, I do have my shield. So yeah, that's extra.
Ah. So I came here before, but I wanted to check see if there's anything in here
Yeah,
in this room.
there is. There is. Let's see. Let's go back to my story thing. All right.
So I could see that there's like a huge ass hole in the wall, but
So, make your dex checks.
Oh.
Whoever's skinning the
Yeah.
hyenas.
Yeah.
Who has the highest dex? I have 12.
hey, you're the one that said you wanted to skin him. Go for it.
All right.
Anything
might as
above
well.
an 8, you good job. Natural 20. Was that
8.
one? Almost. So that's good. It's fine. You've got a
All right. So what is that? 3 hyena skins or 2?
2 hyena skins. The knoll is. No one's gonna buy a knoll skin. It's considered a humanoid. So, well, someone might. But,
I mean,
For
some
what?
weirdos, yes. But
yeah.
How much would that run? I wonder.
The skins for the hyenas.
Yeah.
They're probably 5 gold apiece, maybe. I mean, or maybe less, depending on who's buying them.
I'll go 2 just to be on the safe side.
What's that? Alright, so you walked into this is a guard shack and a small room used by guards. The front wall is broken with large rocks on the ground where the wall used to be. A staircase allows access to the second floor. On the floor, you see some weapons scattered around it. I need
Okay.
you for a second. Hold on.
I want to check out the weapons, so yeah, you can just throw them in the parcel items.
Okay. You find a. I thought I could just. Yeah, I could do that. Boom. Alright, so there's still that shield out there if anybody wants that. There's 4 darts, a dagger, and another spear.
Okay.
I don't want any of those
Okay.
unless they're magical.
I'm just gonna. If you don't want them, I'm just gonna keep them up there, and you could store them later somewhere.
Yeah.
You can say I'm putting them in something, but you guys just have to write it down.
Yeah. But like I said, I'll throw them in my inventory, and then I'll just mark it as being in the bag of holding.
Okay.
Because I'll basically be, holding on to random stuff like that.
Alright.
I just duplicated my rope on accident.
My crossbow fuckers.
There we go. Okay.
Alright. I'm gonna delete the 3 creatures. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Go
You
for
got
it.
anything for? And some of you are feeling still hurt. A
Yeah,
little
I'm
bit.
still a little sore.
You've officially not leveled up yet, but when you have your
No,
rest, you will
technically,
level up. Yeah. We just kind of.
I thought we said we were going to do a long rest at the end of the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
We just haven't officially.
you haven't
done it yet.
officially done it yet.
Yeah. So we just have to
Okay.
decide when we're gonna
Yeah.
rest.
Because you have to rest. It's
I-
like an 8-hour sleep. I'm assuming you're not sleeping next to the corpses out there.
No.
No, just go back upstairs, I
Yeah.
guess.
Okay. So, do you want to?
Where's Boar's token go?
It's right here.
Oh, it's back there.
There he is. Okay.
All right. So you want to do the official?
Okay.
So we're saying that you went upstairs and you're going to
Yeah.
do your official rest. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fine. I'll do the.
Yeah.
There's a thing in the
And-
menu here where I can give you guys a. Where is it?
Yeah. Give us like a long rest.
And it goes a long rest. Okay. Boom.
Going to arrest us.
So the party takes a long rest. All right. So you guys are back up, and you're level 2 now. You've taken back the keep, or not back. You've taken over the keep.
Yeah. Yeah. Just gotta finish securing it. Sounds about right. Oh. Why did my AC go up to 19 though? It's weird.
Well, you got the +2. Oh, did you add +2 to it? I
Oh,
already
because
added
it
that
thinks
+2.
It thinks I equipped the shield, and whenever I grabbed it, it just
Oh.
automatically equipped it. Okay,
Oh.
that's. I was like, what? Okay. I took that off. I was just making sure, 'cause that was a little confusing.
I don't think we've gone into this room, have we?
One of you did. They just kind of poked their head in, and there was more kind of like grain food in that.
Okay.
I'll try to change some music up here.
All right.
Back
Now,
up
are
over
these
here.
doors? Is it possible to put them back on the hinges, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you would
I was
have
gonna
to use mending.
barricade it.
You can use a
Yeah.
mending spell to put them back on there, or you would have to barricade. Well,
Yeah,
that's
well,
ominous.
I've got the mending cantrip now, like after the level up, so because on level I can switch my cantrips out, so and I'm gonna need mending anyways, so
Okay.
So basically,
and
you
you
know,
went
if-
the other one, the other guard check.
yeah, I wanted to check it out first and just see what was in here.
All right. It looks identical to the other room over there. There is the front wall has been destroyed.
Yep.
And in this one, you see there's a dart and a quarterstaff left at the bottom floor.
Can we like pile the rocks in front of the openings in these guard checks? Are they like
There's two
passable?
big boulder kind of rocks, and then there's smaller, just rubble, and that's mostly just the wall that fell down.
But like you could just walk through it, basically?
Oh yeah, you can just
Pretty
walk
much.
right into them.
Yeah, it would probably be like difficult terrain for like those 2 squares, but I mean, it looks like it's pretty open though.
Is there a second floor to these shacks?
There's a staircase, so yeah, should be.
I'm trying to get some better music. Holy cow, that was like really ominous, more ominous music. Yeah, there is a second level, and without needing to switch maps and go up to the second level, I can just tell you what's up there.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, yeah.
It's intact. There are windows out there that look out
Okay.
out to the front yard, the front lawn, I guess would be.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. Let me get the guard check level 2. As you reach the second floor, again, there's another weapon racks that are lying against the wall. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. You see javelins, 2 long swords, and a sickle. And on the other side, you see a club, a morning star, a scimitar, and you see a wakizashi that used to belong to Zunanar.
Well, go ahead and take your wakizashi, Han.
Let me put that back real quick.
Okay. So go ahead and y'all take whatever y'all want, from it. That way, once y'all are done, I just put the rest into the bag of holding.
I'm gonna take that morning star.
I put the short sword I had back in there for you to put in your bag.
Okay.
Okay. And you guys are looking out front, like through the windows you can see, and you can see out front. Excuse me. Coming, like outside the keep, you see. I think the window you can see a pond that's to your right or west, and there's a fairly used road that heads to the south. Now, looking at the map, you know this road would go south and would go to Beckinsdale.
Okay.
Outside the keep, there is damage by these large rocks that were thrown at it, and the keep is surrounded by, a area of like woods. You notice that some trees have been cut down recently around the area.
What map is that?
That would be the the first map would be the Vorbitus map. That would show you that it goes to Beckinsdale, and then there's another one that would be just this map here, you would go out and you could see that there are certain trees that have been cut down to the south.
Let's see.
Oh, okay? And you're outside. All right. So you can see the pond to your left, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So a large pond extends out in front of the keep with benches lining the banks. Small ripples appear across the water's surface, most likely from fish below. A lone body floats in the center of the pond.
Can I tell how deep the pond is?
It looks at its deepest, probably about 20 feet.
I'm going to make some efforts to pile the rocks in both of these guard shacks where you can't just walk in.
Okay. Do a strength check. Are you trying to move some of the bigger ones, or?
No, basically, like, I'm leaving the big ones where they are. I'm just piling all the little ones to make
Just
like a makeshift barricade.
Yeah, I would give that rough terrain then. Yeah. It'd be a small little wall.
Basically, just where you can't just walk right in, essentially, is all I'm trying to do, because we don't have anything to really fix it with. Unless there's stuff I could use inside to make it taller.
No. There's nothing inside that you've seen.
Is this just a bench here by the pond?
Yeah, this is a bench that's on the northeast bank there, and then there's kind of a rocky shore line to the west, and then the body sits right in the middle. There's a couple logs that are just floating there, too.
Yeah, I was wondering if we could use one of the logs to kind of go out there and get the body, since we don't have a bow and arrow to
make a perception check.
Fish it out.
Both, well, since you got Zunanar and Zumi are both there, so you can.
Perception.
You can drop it in the castle too, no, if you want. Since
It's under skills, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been doing all my rolls like that into the tower.
Yeah, it's more fun that way, in my opinion.
Okay.
Hold on. I gotta close the window so I can even get to the tower. Perception.
I tell you, I gotta find some other music, because a lot of this is just.
Okay, there we go. I rolled.
Okay.
Yeah, something that doesn't come with a DMCA takedown.
Well, no, it's just it seems like it's all depressing music. I'm like,
I guess more will help Han with the rocks.
okay. And all right, Zunanar, you can tell that this person floating there seems to be a dwarf, at a young age, as it doesn't seem like it has a beard at all, and it's bald. But it is wearing what looks to be a flail and a dagger. You can see.
Okay, I relayed that to Zumi. Hang on,
didn't you?
Yeah, I've got the longbow.
What if we tied a rope to an arrow and tried to fish it out? Unless you're, I mean, you could try to swim.
Let's see.
I mean, you wouldn't have problems swimming out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go out there, grab the body, and pull it in.
Okay. Make one more perception check while you're out there. Okay.
I am a perceptive bastard, so.
There's a glint of something below the body, but it's about 20 feet down.
Okay, I'll drag the body over here to the shore by Zumi, and then
Okay.
I'll say, "Hey, there's something at the bottom of the lake," and I'll go back out to dive for it.
I'm gonna add that dagger and flail in there. You have those.
Let's see. Do I need to do any kind of check, or can I just dive down and
It
grab
also had 5 gold on him. Just so you know. I'll add that to the parcel too.
Any armor or anything? Or
Make a Constitution check. See if you can hold your breath long enough to go down.
here we go. Okay.
Make a also.
That was a saving roll. So do I need to
sorry.
do just an
No,
ability?
not a save. Just Constitution, just skill. Or, ability. Okay, yeah, you're good. You dive down, and buried like directly under the body, you see a suit of chainmail.
Am I strong enough to pull that shit out of the muck?
Yep.
Okay,
You'll be
I'll
able
pull
to
it up.
Yeah.
And,
It takes some
drag
time,
it
but
over
you can.
I'll drag it over to the shore here too.
All right, I've added that to the parcel too.
Be like, hey, I found some chainmail on the bottom of the lake.
Is your detect magic a spell, or is it a cantrip?
No, it's a ritual. So it's a spell, but since it's a ritual, it doesn't have to use a. Well, if I spend the time to cast it as a ritual, then I don't use up a spell slot. So, which is same with my identify. I did prepare
I
that.
could do that too.
Yeah, because
I think I'll do that. I'll do the ritual for detect magic.
Okay, while you guys are ritualizing, me and Mordragos are going to
So
look around the.
You got 10 minutes. I think it takes to do the ritual.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you want to do during that time? You guys are both identifying?
Well, he's doing detect magic. I'm going to go ahead and identify the horn that I have in my inventory.
Well, for identify, all you have to do is set everything out in front of you, I believe. You don't have to do it on each one.
Yeah, I think I've got to get the other unidentified items from the other guys.
Okay. So you would have to pass those items to.
Yeah,
I don't
but
even think I have magic items.
You had a key on you, I believe.
Oh yeah. Key.
And then someone else had a horn, and then someone had.
Yeah.
There was something else.
I have the horn on me.
Like
there was like a
you had
stone.
something like stone or something like that.
No, I had the stone.
So yes.
I had the iron rod with the button on it. Is what I had.
The iron
Carved
rod,
stone
yes.
and the key.
Yeah. Okay. So you could just say that you're passing them over or putting them in the little spot, and you're going to take 10 minutes to do a ritual to identify. Yeah. Okay. What are you guys doing in the meantime?
Me and Mordragos are going to search the interior of the castle for anything we can use small enough for us to carry to continue to barricade the guard shacks.
The two biggest things inside, I mean, there would be some barrels in there. There are some broken benches. There's some tables that are upstairs.
Skeletons.
You can put, I mean, if you want, they're kind of falling apart, but they're bones. I mean, they're large. You can drag one in each and stuff them in the walls.
Okay, yeah, let's just say we did that then, just so we can.
So during that 10 minutes, you guys are dragging skeleton bones and kind of making a barricade in front of those two.
Since we got the doors fixed, we might as well make it where people can't just walk in.
And the doors, the front, are you guys casting mending to do that? Is that something?
Yeah, I've got the mending cantrip.
Okay.
Which, does anyone else, or is it just me?
I don't have
mending.
Okay. So after you're done with the ritual, you can have people holding up the doors, and this whole thing takes about 30 minutes to, we'll say, an hour, to get the two doors up, to get all the skeletons moved over, to block off basically the two entrances that go right into.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The only other thing that could block those would be the troughs that were in the. I guess there's two big troughs in there, but they're full of food, and
we could pull the bench from the by the pond.
Yeah, there's a stone bench right outside. You can throw that in there too, and just.
Yeah, basically anything that's not nailed down, we'll just kind of break apart and put in there.
All right.
Now, on those doors, is there like a bar that we can put in place, or would we have to use like one of the quarterstaffs to lock?
There's no locks on it. Yeah. I mean,
there's not even like a board holder on the back.
No.
Could we stick a quarterstaff through the handles, or
Yeah, you could probably rig something together where you can, or put like something behind it so it doesn't open, I guess.
I guess that'd be the better question. Do they open in or out?
They would open in.
So yeah, probably wedging some in
Into
the
the
handles.
shack. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Use a one of our mini spears or the quarterstaff to wedge in the handles, so
Okay.
we can easily get it out. But it does at least hinder someone from coming in.
Okay.
It's not going to stop them, but
So I would mark off a quarterstaff or a spear out of the bag of holding or something like that, if you,
I think I actually have.
or if
I
you
think
have one. Yeah.
More Dragos has 2 spears. Let me see.
Okay. If not, I mean, I've got an extra quarterstaff that I can change from bag of holding to be barricade.
Remember you do,
Like-
yeah, and you guys can use
Yeah.
the mule to like drag a bunch of stuff around, and I mean,
Yeah, if we need help
if you
with
need
it,
help,
yeah.
He's
That
just,
was a good idea.
He's in there chilling, just chewing. Like,
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I forgot we had the mule too. So
yeah. He just
Oh, I'll
doing his
use
own
that
thing.
pick I picked up actually.
okay, yeah. You could just slam that into the ground, and it just.
Yeah, I got that miner's pick. We could actually drive a couple of pythons into the ground too to act as doorstops if we wanted to.
Yeah, that would be good.
On the guard check doors. That way they would have rough terrain and have to bust through the guard check doors.
And the front door does have has a place where you could put like a large beam or something like that to block it. So
okay, so we can.
the previous one was kind of broken, so you would have to put something, a staff there or something to lock it. I'm missing somebody. Oh, you're over there. Reminder: the only other place you have not looked inside this keep that it was visible to you was on top of the tower above that place to the left, right over here. There was that rope that was on the ground that someone picked up and it had a grappling hook on it.
Yeah, I forget who grabbed that one.
I want to think it was Mordagus, but
I think so.
I'm not
Yeah, he's got the grappling hook.
Okay. Well, got my inventory sorted and got my spells set up, so that's helpful. I definitely like their inventory system in here. It took a little bit, but yeah, like I marked it as not being carried, but I could change the location as bag of holding, and then when I just click on single click on a name, it auto sorted it for me.
I can open your guys. Okay, so you have the.
Oh,
what kind
that's
of
really
magic
handy.
item do you have? So,
I had the horn,
so
and then
I just
Chris
need to go
had
on. I gotta
the
find
stone
it, and
and
then I can mark it as identified. Okay, so there's the horn. It's identified now, so you can. It's called
yeah,
the Horn
so
of
now I can
Silent
actually-
Alarm. And then,
I had the carved stone and the key.
okay, so carved stone and key. Out of the inventory. Oh, that was.
Okay.
Where's the
Interesting
key?
little horn.
There's the key.
Uh,
Oh, there it is. All right, I found the key. So that is called the mystery key.
fancy.
No. And then the other one was the stone.
The carved stone. Yeah,
Carved.
that's what it's listed at in my inventory.
Hmm. Interesting.
I cannot find this thing. Oh, there it is. Holy. Okay. The carved stone is now. That is the stone of good luck. And someone had the rod, right? That was.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
Rod. Zunanar. Come on, move you over there. Inventory. wish it would put. Let's see. Rope, quarterstaff.
Holy fuck! That stone of good luck is worth 20,000 gold.
Jesus, that's a lot.
And that the immovable rod is what the rod was.
Oh, nice. When it's on your person, you gain a +1 bonus to ability checks and saving throws.
That's handy.
Yeah. So how do I put that on my character then?
The stone of good luck. That's like 100 to 500 gold.
Not according to some of the wikis.
Oh no! If you click on it, the little dot, it will open
click
up
on
and
the
tell
red
you.
dot. And
Yeah.
that would definitely be the best way to check, because
Yeah, you're looking at something else then. This is called the luck stone.
Okay, so how do I add that +1?
Well, it says you gain a +1 bonus to ability checks and saving throws. So whenever you roll or something like that, you could just say you're just going to add a +1 for.
Okay.
I usually add that to, like, go to your main tab, and where it says special defenses, you could just type in there +1 to savings throws. So it kind of reminds you.
Well, what I would wonder, does it require attunement? Because that would definitely be another important part. But
I don't. Oh yeah, it does. It does.
Requires attunement.
So you'd have to attune to it.
Okay.
Is that something you want to do?
What
you
is
have
that?
You have to hit the little circle there. That's right next to the 0.3 of weight.
Okay, let me.
And that mark.
The inventory here.
Yeah. Well, there's the circle, which is like carried or equipped, but
No.
If
right
it can
to the
require
left.
attunement, there's one under attunement.
Yeah, right to the left of it, of that where it says carried or equipped, there's a
Interesting.
small circle that appears if you're going to attune to it.
Yeah. That's what I
okay.
was wondering. Because even though I've infused my scale mail and my dagger, there's not like an option to, say that I've attuned to it. But.
Yeah, it's.
So I just
well, scale mail is not attuned. Yeah, you
okay.
don't have to attune scale mail, and I don't think your dagger you didn't have to because it's a.
It's just because of the infused item. Like
yes.
it counts as attuned, if I remember correctly.
Okay, I did the attunement circle, but I can't tell if it actually did anything.
I don't think it does. I think it just says you're attuned to it, and then you have to put it on as write down what it does in your special defense. You have to remember it.
Yeah. Yeah, because the attuned, I think, is just to mark like how many attuned items you got. Because at the very top, you'll see next to equipment, it's got the little attuned icon, and it said like 0 of 3, 1 of 3, or so it keeps track of the number of attuned items you have that way.
There's one more gold left in the parcel coins. Is anybody fair to have that?
Yeah, I guess I'll take it. I haven't taken any.
Oh, go for it.
So you can just add one more gold to your gold, and I'll zero this out.
Okay. Inventory.
Alright, that's the party sheet. Yeah, yes. Plus 2 ability checks and something else, right? I thought.
Ability
Savings.
checks, saving throws, initiative, and buffs. Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah, that's what it says on D&D Beyond.
It says +1 to ability checks and saving throws. You got to look at the one on.
In Fantasy Grounds.
In Fantasy Grounds, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why wouldn't D&D Beyond override Fantasy Grounds? It's actually like the D&D source.
I know.
Okay, so just ability checks and saving throws?
Yeah, just ability checks and saving throws. You get a +1.
Yeah. If you spent the time, you could probably go in and add the +1 bonus to those, but
yeah, you would have to apply for each one in there.
Yeah.
You would have to go in.
Yeah, that's like a it's
so I would just remember you have a +1. Okay. Yeah. So the only other spot inside the keep was up on top of the second floor. There's a tower up there. You can see there's a notch
Oh, keep in mind that initiative is an ability check. Ha!
I mean, I know
Sorry.
you can roll for initiative, but
Yeah, you roll for
Yeah.
it.
That is an ability check, though.
I'm not
Anyway,
sure.
we won't worry about it for now. We can look that up for the next round.
that's fine.
Okay, so we're looking on top of the tower.
Yeah, you're looking up there and you see you can get a rope up there, the grappling hook. But you would have to.
So what does Moore need to roll for that?
Just make more doggos
check.
do everything.
What's that?
A dexterity check.
Dex. Yeah.
Dex, okay.
Yeah. I just think it's funny. Just make more doggos do everything.
That thing was leaning on 18 and I went, whoop, 5. He throws it up there, but he's still able to hit it. He's got a high dex, so it seems like it's holding pretty well.
Okay. I guess he'll go ahead and do the climb. Another dex check to see if he can...
It's actually a strength check to pull yourself up. And he barely is making his way up. He's not the strongest, but he's still making his way up. He'll have to do one more to actually get to the top.
One more strength?
Yeah, one more strength.
Okay.
Yeah, that's no problem. He basically gets to the top. So cresting over the edge, you see a tower with a mesmerizing view to the west. You can even see the lake off into the distance. 3 motionless figures lie atop of the structure. A stool and barrel rest next to the dead bodies.
So do they look... Let me roll a perception check here.
I mean, just looking at them, one looks to be like an elf, female. One is a half-elf, male. And one looks like a half-orc.
Well, I was going to say, do they look like they were lookouts up here, or...
It looks like they were in some type of combat and they died. One of them looks like it's like basically got hit in the chest with something that scarred it, that burnt his chest, and the other 2 looked a little crispy.
Okay.
And
I guess I'll search their bodies.
All right. And there's a bunch of stuff up here. And let me go back to your... Oh, there we go. There's arrows, crossbow bolts. There's 2 crossbows up there. There's another dagger. There's a healer's kit. 2 holy symbols.
Hey, nice.
2 outfits of leather. Another thing of scale mail, a rapier, a longsword, and another short bow.
Zumi will definitely take one of the crossbows.
Okay. And you guys found your holy symbols.
Yeah, I'll have to do one for each of us. Let's see.
What is that, 10?
Oops. Yeah, I was like trying to get rid of it.
I'll grab those arrows.
I did that thing again where I was like measuring or whatever. It was an accident, but I was trying to remember how.
And you could easily get
can
that
I
stuff
just...
off
Is there a better way to drag the crossbow bolts than getting fucking one at a time?
I think you just take one and then you can go into your inventory and type in what you have. I think.
Is anyone else gonna take a crossbow? If not, I'll take all the bolts.
Zunar's arrow.
Yeah, I know. That's a good question. I guess because I think I started off with a crossbow, so I'll go ahead and take one and 20 bolts.
Okay. All right, we'll split it.
And then I guess I'll take the rest of the stuff here because I don't think you'll have use for scale mail. That's rapier's kind of iffy. Alright, got a long sword. Leathers.
All right, here I'm gonna. So you can put this in your deal, and we can sell it later.
Yeah. Shovel, I don't think it's worth much. Let's see. It says its cost is 2 GP, so maybe we can get a gold piece for it.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you would like do more than one, just throwing it in here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you should be able to just drag one and then just add how many.
Yeah, that's all I did.
I'll just delete the rest.
Okay, I did hold down shift and I just took the whole stack.
Oh, well, there you go.
But
yeah, I would just
I'll change that to 20 because, yeah, like he said, he's going to take some and I take the rest, so.
You guys are all over by, well, he's over here. Oh, jeez. I love how I can't walk through things. So he's up there.
So is there anything in the barrels or anything?
Yeah, right here will be useful for later.
Inside the barrels, of that area down below it?
Well, in the, you said there were some barrels up above there where the bodies were,
that's
right?
where the arrows were. The arrows were all in the barrel. So they were shooting some out of there, whoever they were fighting against, but it didn't turn out to their advantage, I would say. And in that...
sounds like you blasted them.
And that storage area that's below has like dried grain, salted salmon, and tea leaves in it. That you guys are standing outside of. There's a door right there.
Okay, where's... There's his token, okay.
So at this point, I would say about that hour has gone past. You guys are all... you three are messing around with getting all the equipment down from the tower. And are you in the stables? Is that...
Which one of us?
Jor.
Oh, what is it?
Are you in the stables, or are you staying? That's where you're at.
Yeah, I'm in the stables at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah,
make sure you try to get your guys on the center squares instead of the half.
Oh yeah, I was distracted.
All right. In all of your minds, you hear masters. There's a man approaching. He stands outside your door.
Do you recognize this man? This is Zumi asking.
No, she doesn't know.
Okay. Let's get position. Moore is going to take up here. Jor, are you going to answer, or do you want me to?
I can answer. Well, technically, I'm still Kerr at the moment. I haven't turned back to Jor yet.
I am. I'm going to stand back here with my bow ready.
All right. Moore will answer with Kerr.
Hold on for a second here.
Okay.
And that was, of course, Hazel. So
yeah.
You guys.
Hazel.
I'm gonna unlock it and then I'll lock it.
And the door doesn't shut it's not perfectly seamless. So you can peer out there, and there's a man standing right. He looks like he's dressed in dark robes. He has white hair. He's standing right there, like right outside, and he's kind of... He gets a quick knock on the door.
Is he familiar to us at all?
No, you've never seen this man before.
He's a human, or?
Yes, yeah, he's a human.
Here's an out of character moment, but have you guys seen Breaking Bad? You need to do what Jesse did when he's inside the RV.
Oh, what did he do? I forget.
This is my private domicile, and I will not be harassed.
Oh. I forget about that part. It's been so long since I've seen it, but I'll just kind of call out to him, just say, who's there?
It's like, it's Veldani.
From where?
Veldani?
From everywhere. Greetings. Are you the masters of this keep now?
What business is that is yours?
Well, I would like to renegotiate my crystal shipments.
I don't recall saying we were going to be selling those.
Okay. Then do you mind if I come in and grab some? I
Yes.
obviously gave this keep to you all, because the last people that were running it tried to screw me over.
So you sent in the attackers, did you?
My pets, yes.
Well, if he had the power to summon these guys, we should probably listen to him.
But I'm willing to pay.
I mean, if we can procure some workers, then there is possibility we can figure something out.
You can go the route as the other previous owners. Get some slaves to do the work for you.
Nah, I'd rather get town. Yeah, I'm saying this to Kerr at a lower voice. Yeah. We do already have... there is that one large rail car full of crystals already. And the chest down there still has it. We could sell the chest now and then have that large train cart ready for his next shipment and use the money he gives us now to hire some people to start farming.
Yeah, as long as we can get, some time to be able to, get more people to help us with that, because right now we have no one here.
He tells you last time he would get, every 2 weeks, he would get 2 barrels full.
And what are you willing... Sorry, what is this guy's name again?
Veldani.
So, Mr. Veldani, what are you...
well, each barrel was 200 gold. So, either 400, but I'm willing to go up to 450.
I want to check to see if I can tell if he's lying about the price.
Yeah, go ahead. Make a...
I think that was insight.
Insight check, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, while he makes the insight check, I'm going to go ahead... I'm going to look back to Zumi and Zunanar and Nod and, indicate that I'm going to go up there and remove the quarterstaff from the door handles.
Okay.
I lower my bow.
Be like, just one...
Yeah,
go ahead.
Just so you know, you trust him. You can see that he's not lying. He's speaking calmly. He's looking at the little slit in there. He seems a little bit perturbed that no one's opened the door, but he's patient.
And this is Zor. God damn it! What is this? Let me write this fucker's name down again.
Veldani. He was actually on your list of clients.
Yeah, Veldani.
Yeah. Veldani.
Okay, Mr. Veldani, give me one moment. I'll get the door open and we can have a more civil conversation. But please excuse the mess. We're still trying to clean up.
No, I understand.
I look at Zumi and say, hey, go grab some tea. Let's do this right. So Zumi can go and grab the tea from that one room and I guess get some tea going and we'll schmooze this guy.
All right.
And Moore goes ahead and opens up the door for... Greetings, Mr. Veldani. I am Mordagos. My companions are getting some things ready for you so we can properly greet you, and I do apologize for the delay. But
so when he walks in, it's there are 3 other things that come around the wall that walk in. It's basically skeletons that walk behind him.
Like bodyguards?
Yeah, but they're normal size, not giant.
Okay.
Yeah. And he comes in. They're just here to carry the shipment.
Oh, that's understandable.
And he'll post. They can either stay outside or I'll post them down.
If you want, I can take them down to start getting everything gathered up and above ground.
All right. And he just kind of looks at them without speaking a word, and he tells them where to go because he knows where they're at.
So I'll go down there with him too.
Okay. So going down the trap door, there's the large chest that's down there, and then there's a big. That probably thing could fill up about maybe 3 chests itself. The cart. So
you 2 barrels.
So he wanted 2.
Yeah,
it's called 2 barrels, but 2 chests. If
yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was going to ask about that.
yeah, now, and usually he goes, I reside. He tells you. I mean, he's open up front with you because he knows his power. He's he's like, I reside in Tarakis, and usually the shipment was sent out there, or down the river, and one of the former employees would drop it off at my home every 2 weeks or so. But I could see that you guys are having trouble right now. I mean, you new ownership, you know, you're going through your early phases and stuff of getting things working. So, anything I can do to help you?
Well, you know, you were saying you're willing to do 450 for the shipment, but let's kind of meet in the middle, and why don't we do 400 until we can deliver it to you, and then in the meantime you pick it up at that discounted rate of 400, and then when we start delivering it, you do the 450 to offset the shipping cost, so to speak.
That sounds reasonable. I'll give you a month. How about that? And I'll be back.
That sounds reasonable.
He goes, but he wants to take at least the 1 chest that's available right now. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And he'll pay the 400 to you guys.
Okay.
Like a start-off cost to a new business. Yeah, the skeletons go grab it and they're just mindlessly walking.
So just the 1 chest, or
he's just taking 1 chest. He's happy that you guys are dealing with him, and he said he'll be back in a month, and that's when he'll start wanting 2 barrels full.
Okay.
And he goes, I'll send an associate so we can hash out the deals.
I look at everyone and kind of nod to let them know that nothing untoward went on underground.
And he reaches his hands out for a nice handshake.
Or shakes his hand.
It's cold and like just there's not a lot of meat on the bone.
Yeah.
It's like shaking a claw.
Yeah.
Mr. Valdani, I do appreciate your patience and look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much. I must be running along now. I have business.
Understood. Please let us know if we can do anything to help you.
And he starts walking away, and he exits and he heads south.
Okay,
south?
So I'm gonna bar the door back real quick.
All right.
So,
so 400.
So I'll put that.
That'll at least
400. I'll put that in your parcel thing, and I'll just divide that up between you all.
Hold on, don't divide it, because let's use that to hire people.
I'm gonna say we need to go to, what is it, Beckinsdale?
Yeah.
We need to go try to hire some people.
Yeah. So we can leave it in the parcel coins and just say that's like our group, like our keep fund at the moment.
Our pot, yeah.
So where is that gold being held, though? Just in your keep. I'm assuming, or are you keeping it on you?
Is there like a safe or anything in the keep? Something like a strong room, a strong box?
There was the locked chest up there with the old lady statue.
Yeah, there's a locked chest. There's our locked armoire downstairs in the prison, or in the.
I do have a key to that too.
Yeah.
We might, hold on to it until, we can actually like hire people to.
I'm just saying, it's 400 gold's a lot, and you're carrying around 400 gold. I mean.
Yeah, that's not something you want to just carry around in a sack.
It's heavy. Yeah. It's heavy. So.
Yeah. Why don't we?
Let's if we hide it, that might be a little bit better, because if let's say some thief comes into our unguarded keep, all they have to do is find the chest, pick it, and then we lose all 400 gold.
How deep is this well over here?
Goes I mean, as far as you could tell, it's filled with water. It goes down about, I'd say, 20 feet.
We can hide a rope and drop the sack down the well and just use the rope to bring the gold up when we need it.
Yeah, instead of a bucket, just put the bag of gold on there.
Yeah.
Nobody will be the wiser.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing?
So,
all right.
So now the question...
Let's take 100 to town to hire and 300 in the hidden stash.
Okay. I'll carry the 100 then, and I'll just add it to mine. And
now the question really becomes, what do we want? What's our next step? Do we want to go straight to town to try to hire people, or do we want to go fight whatever's behind that door first?
Well, we know it's goblins, but
before we start trying to hire people to work down here, like slaves, they don't have a choice about working around goblins. But I doubt free men are going to want to do that.
Yeah, but we'd also need to have some kind of guard, because if it gets out of hand and then the goblins, get out of control, we'll lose the keep to goblins, and then we won't have any backup. But they're locked away as long as we don't open up the door. So if we hire some guards first, at least we know if something gets out of hand, we can stop them somewhere,
Maybe hire
we
like
don't,
a couple
we don't want them to
mercenaries
take over our newly acquired keep.
Which we do have the key to that door
business.
downstairs now, right? We picked that up.
Which one?
The
locked door downstairs? You have no clue. You found a key. That was a magic key.
You said it was like a fancy key.
Yeah, you found a fancy magical key. And you can read what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 5% chance to open a lock, but as soon as it opens a lock, it disappears.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because I tried my key, my regular key, it didn't work.
Yeah,
so
you don't think that would be the key to open that?
No. My key's probably just the one to the cells down below, but... let's see, now I was also trying to see, where's that map at?
I guess the closest...
I was just trying to get an idea of, because I was looking at the map, and...
Beaconsdale or Lakemore City would be the closest towns to us.
Yeah. So where did he say he was from?
Tarakis, the capital, off to the west.
Okay.
Oh, I do have
it. I want to make sure.
Yeah, there is a...
okay.
I don't think I showed you guys this last time. There's a... It's called Player Sheet version 1. If you open that up, it's kind of a...
Oh, like a better looking map.
Yeah, a little player sheet. Like anything that's green, we'll click on, they'll open up Lakemore Keep. Anything that's red, you can't open up yet. Down in the notes, there's like the new map for Vorbitis, the map of Azerix. But in the middle above Quest, if you zoom in, you can see the time it takes to get into certain areas. Like going from Lakemore Keep to Beaconsdale takes about 2-day walk, I believe. Yeah, 2 days walk, but 1 day ride.
About
all we have is an ass to ride?
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing to get into Lakemore.
Okay, so they're both 2 days distant on foot?
But we're more familiar with Beaconsdale than we are Lakemore.
Yeah,
right.
I'll tell y'all that, that I know some people, maybe I can also see if any of them are willing to work. And then,
oh yeah, you would know a lot of people.
Yeah, because most of the people I know are the changelings, So.
Did you just tell them that you're a changeling?
Out of character, yes.
Yeah, I'd say let's go Beaconsdale.
Okay, yeah, that's...
Yeah.
So Beaconsdale, according to this one map, is it a desert town?
That's a farm town.
Oh, okay, so
I assume those are hills, yeah.
Yeah, there's a little hills and stuff like that. You guys are from there. It's mostly a farming town. They do mining in the mountains to the north.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Okay,
and like there's about 400 citizens there.
Yeah,
but we could maybe find a few people to hire. Then we might have a better chance in Lakemore. It's more populous, but we do know people in Beaconsdale.
Yeah, in character, I'm gonna mention though. Looking at the list of clients that we found. One of the clients is in Beaconsdale, and then 3 other guys that we haven't met or talked to yet. So we're gonna have to figure out about their shipments too.
Well, one of the clients is in Beaconsdale, but
yeah,
Zunanar.
It's the turncoat.
Knows that.
Yeah. But it had the location as BD on there, so I figured it would be.
You just ciphered my cryptic.
Yeah, but do we really want to be ambitious enough to try to take on all these clients at once? Or do we start with Veldani, that we know is a very serious threat?
We definitely have to start with Veldani, make sure we can get his shipments going. It's just the other guys, I don't know if we're going to have any problems with them or not. Because we
could easily...
They are going to come looking for their shipments at some point.
Oh, I have an idea. Why don't we... Because obviously whoever has been dealing with these pricks that captured us knows that they were slavers, right?
Yes.
What if we post a help wanted at some of these cities where these other clients are, saying, hey, under new management, looking for miners to work at Lakemore Keep? That's a dead giveaway that it's different people now. So these guys are going to know they need to renegotiate.
That's possible.
I mean, we're also kind of giving us a target for someone to try to come rob us, but...
Yeah, well, as long as we get some people hired as guards beforehand, yeah, should be less of an issue.
And we might be able to beseech the head of my order in Beaconsdale for some assistance.
I could talk to the clergy and see, they may even want to post a cleric up here now full-time to host services and stuff, because, with me managing the keep and adventuring, obviously I couldn't do that. And neither could more.
I know for a fact that certain members of my order would find Hazel very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I was wondering, Griff, so with the guard shacks, like the upstairs area, that was a living area, right?
No, they were actually...
Or was it outlook?
It was an outlook area, and there was weapons up there.
Because what I was wondering, I was trying to recall, but other than, where we slept, was there any other living quarters? Or was that...
downstairs, you saw that first room that you walked in.
Yeah, the one on
the
left,
was like
right?
a kitchen. No, well, there's the one in the middle.
And right here,
there
was beds right there.
There were beds there, and then there was... To the left is a huge room that has a bunch of... it has a space for it.
Beds here.
Although there's 2 holes in the ceiling.
Yeah, and
but
upstairs there was, the other beds and stuff.
And then they used to have a kitchen, so you're still going to have to find somebody or something to create meals. But there is some supplies. You can eventually make this place a sustainable place where the people you'll hire somebody to maybe like a caretaker, other than Hazel that can't really move. But
right.
Somebody you can hire hunters. It's up to you guys what you guys want to do with it. Just know that the bandits that were here, or the people that was here, left, but they they could return. We don't know.
Yeah, we'll want to try to enforce the castle before that happens.
Yeah.
But locking, you're able to lock it up pretty good. Make it harder to get in.
Right.
So do we want to all 4 of us go to Beaconsdale, or 2 stay here and work on fixing things up while 2 go to town and
can also kind of guard this place too.
Yeah.
If you do that, then I would definitely say I need to be 1 that goes to Beaconsdale.
Okay, Zunanar, what about you?
Well, let's see.
You were talking about the head of your order in Hazel, but would your order be willing to spare some manpower?
To actually garrison the castle?
Yeah. I could write a letter to the head of the clergy and kind of apprise them of the situation and see if they would be interested. But because after all, if they're holding services here, they're going to get tithes from, whoever attends the service.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, always an interest to the church.
Now, one thing I should check with you, Griff, out of character, of course, is now I'm guessing that the church wouldn't like changelings, though, right? Because in general, I would think they probably have a bad reputation, but
well,
changelings overall have a bad reputation.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but this is the god of knowledge. This isn't.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how that church would if I knew if that church would not like the changelings or not.
I think the god of knowledge would be kind of ambivalent.
I mean, if it was more of like a neutral.
They're really indifferent. They're indifferent.
Yeah.
Really,
then
really
I would,
indifferent.
Then I would assume some people might be against,
Yeah.
some might be for, others.
The biggest problem they have with the changelings is the swapping out of children for a changeling, and then they raise the other child.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest thing that they frown against, but they don't seem to, I guess, hunt you guys or.
Yeah, they're not actively.
They're not actively trying to stop you doing it.
Okay. No, I just thought I'd check just in case.
Unless something comes across where they're like, hey, someone took my baby. I mean, then they'll send somebody to investigate why.
Yeah, I get that. Nah, just making sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many people they will send if my order did send anyone. It may just be one person to study Hazel. You never know.
Well, I mean, and that's one person would be good enough, but.
Just remember, I mean, it's risky to split a party.
Yeah.
I just want to throw that down there. And you also, other spots that you have seen through windows was a path leading to the west around this keep, and then the cemetery in the back. Just adding those out. That's the other areas you have not explored in this area. But that can be explored at another time if you feel.
Okay.
I say if we are going to town, we all need to go, probably.
Okay. Well,
we're
we've kind of gotten
too young to split up right now.
Yeah, this is in character, by the way. But yeah, it's like now that we're kind of out of that situation, though, and if we're gonna take over this keep, there is something I should at least share with you. That I'm a changeling, and I do know of the group of changelings in Beaconsdale, and considering that we're kind of like a small group, I might be able to convince quite a few of them to come stay with us here to help work and take care of the place. And because if we keep this place well fortified, at least it would keep them safe. I mean, I don't know if y'all have problems with the changelings or not, but
now this is Zumi saying this, since he is part of the clergy, but that's cool. My only question is this. They can stay as long as they want, and we will offer them all the protection we can, just like anyone else. But I would only be concerned if they were actively looking for young ones. Because that kind of clashes with, I'm a terrible clergy, but, I gotta have a line in the sand somewhere.
Our group isn't like the normal changelings. Most changelings tend to be, solo, and those changelings tend to be the ones that'll swap out kids. With our little group, we're not the exact same. We try to like think of it like we're safer in numbers, but we just hide in plain sight.
Invite him. I'm okay with it. What about now? Out of character. What about Moore? What is his?
He's actually Mordagus is a.
He's an acolyte.
Yeah, he basically is the. He's kind of the same. Well, I'm gonna say same as you. He follows a god.
Oh, he's chaotic neutral though. Yeah. Divine of death.
He follows a god, but he's been kind of pampered his whole life. Like, he's very privileged. I don't think he would have a problem with it. I mean, I don't want to speak for him, but I mean, he would go, yeah, sure.
I'm just looking at his like deity and stuff, and his bonds. You know, everything I do is for the common people. Yeah, I think he'd be fine with him coming. I mean. So Moore and I are both, you know, let's bring them, and if they need our protection and are willing to help us, then let's do it.
Meanwhile, I just raise my eyebrows and say, what a fascinating chance for study. I have no issue with it.
Okay.
I've never seen a group of changelings before. That'll be a first for my order.
Yeah, I could say we're not like the usual changelings. So, I mean, like normally I would be raised by basically human parents, but no, both my parents that raised me were the changelings.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, quit.
He knows you're lying.
Yes.
Okay. So let's do this. If we're going to leave the keep, we should probably check around and make sure there isn't any one waiting for us to leave the keep. And then we can go into town.
I think that'd be a good idea.
So
okay, while you guys are doing that,
goes to the west.
Yeah, there is a when you were out by the pond, you saw there's a passage that goes off to the west, and that would kind of be the road that would head to Lake Moore City. You do see that it has been recently used, so you would probably
over where I am.
Yeah, you would probably think that's where the people that were here before you fled.
Let's see.
Which would kind of make sense because the person that was here before you was a Lakemore.
Oh, okay. So this stone looking.
Yeah.
This path starts out under this tree.
Yeah, leave me behind here. Let me catch up here.
I would think we should do a perimeter search before we start going any paths.
Right. You guys can do that would be a perception. I mean, all of you, if you want.
Okay.
Okay, and then let's see, perception. Oh, images in the way. Okay, that's
Can I just ask? Is there any other breach in the walls other than the ones that we've tried to patch up?
No.
Okay.
The other walls have been. Walking around the perimeter, you don't notice really. You don't notice anybody that is hiding in the trees.
What about like any footsteps along the
most of the footpaths and head west. They basically you see it. They went out the front door and went west, and some kind of on the western side of the keep dropped down and went west. That's where the most foot traffic you would see. Some other foot traffic you see is towards the graveyard area. That would be considered fresh.
We should probably check the graveyard then.
Yeah, I agree.
I walk up to him and say, well, guys, we better check the graveyard, and unless you wanted me to start beating bushes with my staff, I think
Yeah.
we're.
I mean, you're not spotting anybody hiding and waiting.
We should at least check the graveyard since we haven't.
Damn it. Hold on. Right. If one token gets in the dark, I have to go put the other token back.
Yeah, it's like they're tied to each other with a rope. Gotta move one, then move the other, then move the other. And...
Now, is this, are these rocks, is that elevated surface, or?
It looks like there used to be a structure here. But, it's been either knocked down and now used as a cemetery. Basically, it's a rundown cemetery, sits behind the keep. There are 2 benches sitting across from each other, with 9 graves in all arranged. There are 6 of the graves have markers on them. They're made well, and they're crafted out of stone. And there are 3 grave markers that are loosely held together with some twine and are made out of wood. The whole area doesn't look well kept at all.
Is there any sign of that the graves have been obviously tampered with?
Make an investigation. The 3 wooden ones look the freshest.
Can we see where the footprints?
They basically have go right to where the wooden ones were, and then back the same path to the keep.
Someone buried someone here recently.
Or something. That was more Dogus.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any markings that we can discern on the gravestones, the wooden ones?
Yeah, the wood ones, no.
Nothing scratched into them or anything at all?
Nope, they just kind of a wooden crosses that are either just kind of bound together with twine.
Okay, so real simple.
Yeah. But the other ones do have names on them.
It's hard to trust these graves, given that these guys that, were fucking slavers. So why would they actually have enough respect for anyone to bury them?
That is true. I don't know either.
I mean, look at all the bodies that we found hanging out in water graves.
That's a good
point. The only ones I could think would be maybe the guy's family. I don't know anyone else that would, because he did say that, or Hazel said that they had like a suspicious death, or it sounded.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
it sounded like it could be the 3 family members.
Now, I'll roll a perception. Does it look like the soil is loose enough that we could use a spear to kind of poke it in there to see if there's a casket?
Yeah. You could definitely. They don't look. I mean, it looks like loose soil, buried recently. Which you would know that. Then these probably wouldn't be relatives, because the relatives died. He's been in this keep for at least a year. So.
Okay, that's right. I forget some of the stuff Hazel was telling us.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of suspicious of this, because it.
Yeah, what are the family members?
Yeah, this doesn't match what we know of our captors. All right, so more. I gotta talk to myself. More ask Zumi. You
gotta use different voices.
Yeah, all right, this is Moore's voice. So you talk to your god, and he's a god of knowledge, but mine's a god of death. So, do you object if we check? No, I agree that there's something suspicious about this. So, do we still have the shovel?
Yes.
Yeah. I believe
okay,
so.
give me the shovel and I'll check.
I'll take the shovel out of the bag of holding, hand it over for him to use to dig up.
So it takes about a good 10 minutes for each grave of the wooden ones that you want. That's the one you want to dig up, those 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one looks to be a dwarf. And it looks like he's like a gray-skinned dwarf. The second one is an elf, and the third one's human. And they look like they have no clothes on, and they're just buried.
Do I recognize any of them?
No. I would say no. None of you recognize them.
These guys weren't.
That's interesting.
These guys weren't in coffins or anything. They were just buried in the loose dirt.
Buried in the loose dirt.
I don't recognize these guys. I don't know.
They cared about these guys, but not much because they just chucked them into the ground.
Yeah.
They're not. They've shown no respect for, where their possessions for the afterlife.
Can we determine how they were killed? Like investigation, maybe, or medicine?
Yeah, you can do medicine checks.
I think I have a really high medicine. Let's see. +4 medicine.
I got +2, so you'd probably be the better one for that.
That just depends on your roll.
You're not able to.
You're
looking over the bodies, and you're just like, wow, I have no clue. Yeah, you even look at Zunanar, and you're like, I can't figure this out. And he goes, yeah, I have no clue either. It doesn't look like. These guys might have died from natural causes. That's about all I can think of.
Just for the hell of it. If I notice anything.
You're as oblivious as they are.
Yeah.
All right.
I just want you guys to know, you guys rolled a 1, 1, and a 2.
Nice.
And Mordagas just rolled a 2 also.
God, what the fuck?
So you guys are like, you don't even want to touch the bodies. You're just kind of looking, going, yeah, natural causes sounds good.
Alright, so I take a couple of minutes, do a quick blessing, and so we can recover the bodies.
That's funny.
Okay.
Or rebury them, I mean.
Okay, alright. You can do a little ceremony. The other ones, do you want the names of those?
The names.
Stone ones. It's
yeah.
Let me see if I can do this real quick. It might be easier if I wonder if I could do that. Oh, of course. You're not gonna do. Okay, well, give me a second because this thing is.
Let me refashion these headstones a little better for these wooden crosses.
No, I'm trying to send everything to you guys in one big thing, but it's like it wants to do them individual. And I'm like, really? I want to do like a chat, send them into chat, and it won't let me copy and paste everything. So I'm like, oh, okay, fine. You want to be that way? All right. So the first one you see is Marquis Rolf Lakemore, and you know him as being the
founder, right?
The founder, basically. He was the brother that left Lakemore City because he didn't like his brother over there, decided to build this keep, and basically ran out of money, and it was a weird built keep, we'll say. And then this is his wife, Lady Meredith. He did have a son, Marquis Boyce Lakemore. So the son took over when the father died, and then his wife, and they both had 2 children. Right there. And they're all buried back there.
And these graves don't look disturbed?
No.
Are any of us going to remember what these dudes we just buried looked like well enough to, like, if someone like, hey, I'm looking for a gray-skinned dwarf, like, are we going to, like, oh yeah, I know where he is? Like, do we have a good enough description of them? Like, if someone's
yeah, you would. I mean, mentally, yeah, you go, yeah. I mean, the gray-skinned dwarf, that's kind of unusual. And and that one doesn't look like it fit in with the other two.
I'm gonna say, like, you probably don't see that many of that dwarf clan out here.
Now you probably I don't think you've
stay
ever
under the mountain.
Yeah, you've never seen them. You know about them. You know that your original home was attacked by them.
Okay.
Yeah, I could know.
Yeah, you guys would know
through
about
history that they're Drugar.
Yeah.
Okay, so we gonna go check the path now? Is that what you guys want to do, or do you want to continue around the keep?
I'd say we at least finish going around the keep just to make sure. In case we see anything out of the ordinary.
And your further investigation doesn't really come up with anything.
Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and move us over these two fucking tokens over here. Ah! Damn it, I put him in shadow.
That's funny.
Okay, so do we want to head into town then?
We should check out this path that they used to run away on.
Well, isn't this just the road that goes to Lakemore City?
That's what that goes to. You would think.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, let's go to shit.
Head into Beaconsdale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start our 2-day-long trek.
I would say by this time it's right in the middle. I'd say it's right in the middle of afternoon. About 1 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Yeah, 1, 2 o'clock, something like that. It's just so you could get about a good days of walk. I mean, are you guys leaving the mule behind? And I'm assuming you're telling Hazel you're leaving for a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, was there? I don't remember. Was there still picks and stuff down there that when we do hire people? 2
mining picks that you did find down there. Someone should have those.
Because if we need to pick up more gear, god damn it.
Yeah, I've got one of them.
If we want to get more gear, we should probably take the ass so he can carry the stuff. But he could also slow us down. We might be able to get it delivered.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Good question.
Or we could even pick up a horse or two while we're in town, depending on how much they are.
Well, if that's the case, we'll probably each want to hold on to 100 gold pieces each, just to be able to afford all of it, because I don't think we're going to be able to just, ask to pay later. Guess it depends on what all we need, though.
Yeah, let's just do the 100 for now, and if need to, we can make a secondary trip.
Okay.
I'm sure we're going to need supplies again soon anyway.
Okay. So you guys are taking some of that money?
Yeah,
I 100.
I took 100, so I've got that in my...
Okay, so I'll mark it down to 301 left in the coins.
Yeah, and then I've got my gold on me.
And Chris took 100 also?
Well, no. I thought he took one. Like that one.
Oh, the
gold
one.
Piece.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that one should be gone.
Yeah.
It would just be 300 left, and that was what we were leaving in the locked chest.
Okay, so you're leaving 300
behind. No, we were
chest
in the well.
In the well.
In the well. Yeah.
Okay.
And then before we head out, I kind of tell him, I was like,
you're taking the mule then with you.
Are we?
I don't know. I didn't.
No, I was gonna wait on the mule.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna leave him. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But yeah,
so
before we leave, I
a
just kind of
4-day journey back and forth. I mean, just
okay. But yeah, I was just gonna let y'all know in character, so y'all know me as Kerr, which this is actually, me whenever I'm working at the blacksmith, the Arm and Hammer, and then I transform into Jor, and I say this. I'm Jor. This is me as the adventurer.
Okay. Just take that in stride.
Yeah, and then once I've transformed, I'm basically just like a human with dark hair, so it's nothing fancy, but I don't remember the exact description I gave him. What was it? Brown eyes, 5'7", black hair, tan skin, but human or human looking. So.
Okay, I'm back.
So basically, you're like Odo from Deep Space Nine.
Just I got different personalities or different characters of sorts of depending on what I'm doing. So whatever I need to be working as like as a blacksmith or doing some kind of work, I prefer to be Kerr. So as Jor, I was much more of the adventurer type. So.
Okay. We're gonna take a small break here, if that's okay.
Okay.
And maybe like 5-10 minutes. So you guys are traveling. Your first leg of your journey is going to go through some forest, and your second leg is through basically south of the Wishing Mountains and going to Beaconsdale. It's going to take you 2 days to go that way. And is there anything that you guys want to do during the first day as you're traveling?
This first day is through the forest?
Through the forest,
Not that I could think of.
Do we have a map for that?
No. Not right now. No. It's just you're traveling. You're traveling along the road, I'm assuming, unless you're staying off the road.
Is anyone good enough to maybe poach some game as we're going along?
Yeah, I can take some shots with longbow.
What would that be? What would that be? Is that a
probably survival?
Survival skill. Yeah, do a survival
or
skill.
Or nature.
If you guys go, do a survival skill to see if you're able to gather any food along the way. Yeah, you're able to get a couple rabbits here and there. Zumi didn't have that much luck, but Mordagos brings down like a large buck.
I'm the shit.
Oh, wow.
Going crazy with this.
We gotta make him use that voice whenever he gets back.
Be like, now, Dave, that's not what your character sounds like.
Yeah, come on, Dave. Get in character.
Right.
Shit.
It's not your canon voice. That voice ain't canon.
So
we got some rabbits and a deer?
Rabbits and deer. Rabbits, deer, and a large buck. So you can take the skin off of those, and again, right around 1 or 2 gold. The rabbits, they're nothing. I mean,
I'll say the rabbits will just eat as we camp for the night.
It's about 4 or 5 o'clock, I would say. You start feeling a calming peace come over all of you. And there's a section of the brush and trees that it kind of reveals a path that was not there previously.
You guys remember seeing that path?
Nope.
That's horrible.
I'm really relaxed right now, but I don't remember seeing that path.
As we all wait for more Dagos' balls to drop. I'm sure Dave will appreciate it.
What do you guys think? I'm in favor of just pushing on to town. I'm not a... Oh, look, magical tree fairies are going to send us into the forest kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of suspicious of it as well. I don't know.
This doesn't bode well. We should just continue on. There's something unnatural going on here.
Okay.
I'm going to have Mordagus do a nature check to see if he can glean anything about this path.
All right. Go ahead. He doesn't know much of... I mean, he's not really a nature guy. So.
He doesn't know much, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, he's just... It's like, yeah, it's a path that wasn't there before. But, I mean, you feel like it's not dangerous.
Let's see.
Is it the same thing?
No, perception.
Oh, perception? Yeah, I mean, you understand. It's a path. That wasn't there before. It looks like it leads a short way in, but details are kind of fuzzy.
All right, so to give a better voice to poor Dave, let me think here.
Sylvester.
Software and Succotash. I'm going to make him do a bad Scottish accent.
Oi!
Hey lads, I don't think we can. I don't think we'll have too much to worry about. We can go back in there and take a look.
This is what you get for missing a D&D session.
Right, no true monksman. Let's not do that. Let's
no
go. Let's go to town.
No fault to him. But,
No, I say we go.
Yeah. I mean, if you want it, lead the way.
Fine. But this is a bad idea. I'm just putting that out there.
Oh, you can bring up the rear.
Is anybody heading forward the path?
Yeah. More go first. I'll go. Zumia go second.
Yeah, I'll go after.
All right.
Yeah,
there's a new map for you guys. It will say.
I'll reluctantly follow.
Sacred Spring.
It's just spring, yeah. Or Sacred Spring. Yeah.
It's just Sacred Spring to me. Yeah.
Yeah, Sacred Spring.
Oh, fancy.
And you guys are on the east side.
Mm-hmm.
Those first 4 squares, kind of in the middle between the walk up.
Damn it. Why is my character sheet over the top of the map?
As you enter the opening, the smell of sweet perfume and fresh vegetation fills your nose. Ahead of you, you see a large, crystal-clear pool encircled by stones. Near the top of the stones stands a huge, majestic elk drinking from the pool. The elk motions to you to gaze into the pool.
How does an elk motion?
With his hoof. And he's kind of points with his nose.
And then he clobbers you in the head for your insolence.
Yeah, he headbutts you.
I guess the two of us reluctantly come up here, like where the moss and that red flower is, or the gray flower for more.
I didn't add you guys on the map.
Yeah, not yet.
There's Mordagus. There's Unanar. There's Jor. And Sumi. There you go.
And then I also want to check to see if I can tell if there's any, malicious intent in this elk.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be gazing from like here.
Okay, just insight.
You actually feel like peace upon you that there is no foul trickery involved.
Makes me feel good.
Boy, lads, let's take a look.
Buddy.
And,
I said a bad accent.
when you say that, the elk seemingly is looking straight at the person that's talking.
Like he understands
Like
what we're saying?
He understands what you're saying.
I want to do...
I'll peek in. Why not?
Okay.
No risk, no reward.
All right.
I'm going to do an insight check to see if maybe I've heard of this guy in my studies.
All right.
Zoomy, of course.
Okay.
Damn it. Hold on, I got to move this stupid thing so I can get
I would do a religion check or a history check. Whichever one.
I have a higher... Well, no, my history is the same as religion, so...
Let me do a history check as well.
And then I just need to add a... Remember, I got to add a +1 to that history for my stone.
All right. Zumi, you recall a protector of the spring. It was a deity that basically was put into a elk's body and was named Anakula. Anakula.
Hold on, let me get to my log here. Ana...
Anakula. And the spring that he was protecting is one of the springs where magic comes from. That's his name right there.
So as Zumi, I'm going to take an E and say, shit, how do I phrase this?
I'm already looking in.
Great Lord Anakula, thank you for allowing us to visit your spring. Is there something that we need to see?
And he gazes down into the pool. Kind of. He doesn't speak to you. He's incapable of speaking back. But through motions, you understand that. Basically, gaze into the pool, if you want to.
I'm gazing already.
The both of us do it.
Who's doing it first?
I said I already done it.
Okay. All right. So as you start gazing into the pool, your mind goes blank, and these images start to fill your mind. And this is what you see. I won't read it. You can read it.
Yeah.
Now you can give that to anybody you want because
Okay.
that's your
I saw
vision.
that pop up there.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
That's your vision that you saw.
Yeah.
Zumi, you see one that says. Okay, and I'll read them. You see a group of riders passing a sign pointing to Beaconsdale. A man says to a woman, "Hey, Fable, is this the town?" She says, "Yes." And immediately after the ending of that, your mind blanks out again, and then your vision comes back. Like your actual vision, not the vision that you just saw. And Zumi's is, you see Ramo in a tavern drinking mead with some friends. He says to them, "I think we could have her tonight." The tavern has a black rose on it. Is anybody else looking into it?
Yeah, more did.
More, okay. It says, you see a seafaring man engaging in a naval battle. barking orders to his men to take no prisoners. The ship he is attacking is called the Zenith Matan. And Zunanar, are you looking into the pool? Like
no.
right now, you don't know if this is happening. You're just seeing them kind of space out for a second, and when they come back, it's your own.
I'm going to choose to not look in the pool, but I am going to take a sketch of Anacula himself.
Okay. It looks like this large. I mean, this thing, it's not even considered large, it's considered huge. So it's the biggest elk you've ever seen.
Yeah, like gigantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of once I've, gotten back to my senses, I just kind of, or at Zunanar and see he's just, paying more attention to the elk. I just tell him, it's like it appears he's given us a vision of something. I don't know. I did a group of riders passing a sign pointing to Beaconsdale, and someone calling out to another if that's the town. I don't know what it means, but it doesn't appear like it's gonna hurt you.
Yeah, it looks to be something from the past.
I'm just scribbling all this down. Fascinating, as I'm scratching with my quill.
If you really want knowledge, you should take a look. After all, that is what my god is all about. It's knowledge.
I think we have the same god. What is your god?
Orbis.
Yeah, we have the same god.
I
mean, you guys know each other. Yeah,
right?
You guys know. Well, no, one was
a
cleric, one was a monastery, but you guys know each other. I mean, he probably attended services at the church.
Okay, so I'll take a look.
All right. You see a man sitting in his filthy room, rocking back and forth, writing in a journal the words KILLZUNONAR can be seen. He then maniacally laughs and proceeds to write it again and again.
Funny.
And again.
And see, this is why I didn't want to look in the pool.
I know, I was just sitting there thinking, hey, what could go wrong? Oh, yeah.
It's a Galadriel's mirror situation. Like, I'm the one who sees the Eye of Sauron, of course.
Yep.
Thank you, Lord Inocula, for this information.
It gives a grunt, I guess. Would be a...
Yeah.
And he goes back. He goes back to drinking from the pool, paying you no mind anymore.
Hey, Zune, you might see if you can get some of that water so we can analyze it later.
Are you sure he would like that? I mean,
let's see.
You might ask for permission first.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I have. Do I have something I can keep water in, even other than my water skin?
You have a water skin. I mean, it's
okay. I'll dump the normal water out, and then I will hold the empty.
Ask before you do that. That way, you don't waste the water.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So I will.
Ask for permission first. Yeah.
I'll kind of. Lord Anacula, may we sample the water of your spring, and hold up the water skin before me.
He nods at yes.
Okay, so I'll dump the water and then fill it up from the spring.
Okay.
Pack that away.
Anything else you guys want to do here?
Nothing I can think of.
Nah.
I mean, try not to piss off the giant elk,
Yeah, I really don't feel like fighting a giant elk.
So it gets to the nighttime, and you guys can hear the crackling of the fire now that you've built. You find a nice place to bed down for the night, for your first night. Let's see. Is there anything you want to do during the nighttime? Are you going to put up
well, basically, because I only have to do, because I don't sleep, I only do like 4 hours of trance. So I will if somebody will watch for the 4 hours while I do my trance, I will keep up the rest of the night and just like kind of study the forest. Me being a wood elf, that's kind of my thing.
Oh yeah, I'll take the first watch.
Okay.
Go for it.
Like I said, so I'll do my 4 hours of trance, which is like a full night's sleep for me, and then I'll just kind of wear the watch away.
So the first watch, make a perception check.
Let's see, skills, perception.
Okay. All right. That's the crackling fire, and you're cooking the meat that you guys caught through the night, so you can have it for later. Your watch goes by with uneventful.
How many rations would you say are like days of rations? I guess.
I mean, hell, we killed a buck and some rabbits.
Exactly.
So like
I mean,
like 6 days worth at least.
If you're cooking all the meat right now, you can have. Yeah, I'll give you 6. That's a lot.
Okay. Because I figured I could put it in my bag of holding since it's.
Yeah. Well,
Just
it
throw
doesn't.
a bunch of deer meat in there.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not like a bag of cooling, so it's not.
No, it's.
It will rot over time.
Just storing it for now,
Yeah.
So we can eat it throughout the trip. So.
Okay. Who's up for the second watch?
Me.
All right. Roll a perception check. What?
Just meditating through my watch.
Through the night, you hear like animals in the distance, kind of just moving through the forest, but nothing comes near your campsite. And with that, you guys have a full night's rest again, which you didn't really need, but it's fine.
Everyone wakes up, and I'm just kind of meditating in the center of the camp by the fire.
And I'll put down the long rest just to make sure everybody's all right. And you're off to your second day of travel. Continue down the road. Right when you're getting outside of the portion of the forest, you see another path that heads to the south, and you see what seems like what's it called? Sorry, smoke rising.
Is it like a lot of smoke or like just like chimney smoke?
It looks like a chimney smoke.
I was going to say, is it like the town's on fire? I don't want to go there.
So yeah, you notice a small path leading off the main road. You can see a small trail of smoke rising upwards. The path of... I don't know. What do you want to do with that? I'll leave that.
So it's more than likely somebody's cabin or something down this road, I would imagine.
Is there... does the smoke smell like it's food or wood or...
Make
can we tell?
a perception check. Maybe you can... Start sniffing the air.
Alright, so this is Zumi, so you'll have to add one more.
You're undetermined. You're not getting a good whiff of what's coming.
Let me see if I can suss it out.
But Zurinar's like, yeah, that sounds like fresh cooked food.
Oi, what do you say?
Well, Jor did just throw a whole deer into his bag, so
Hey, we got to store it somewhere. If we're gonna eat it on the way. Better in there than on the ground, huh?
Might as well go check it out, I think.
Okay, yeah. So,
So
I'll
we're
take the lead
gonna.
this time.
Yeah, I'm just getting things
All right.
ready here.
Yeah, Moore will take up the rear. I'll be behind soon.
The path eventually leads you to a nice home. Has a barn and a shed in the back. The place looks recently lived in, and with smoke coming out of the chimney, someone could be home. And I'll send you to. There's a map called
Prison.
Prison again. No.
Yep.
Where's
We're going back to prison.
Federal ass pounding prison.
It is called Home in the Woods.
Katsugaki.
Yeah, I was about to say the Katsugaki.
Yeah, that one.
That's just a. There we go.
Yeah, it took a little bit to load.
And
Fancy.
And let me put you guys on the map here. There's Mordagus. There's Zunar. There's Jor. There's Zumi. Okay.
Well, I guess since I'm kind of in the lead here, I will.
Oh, don't forget the sound. I just hear campfire crack.
Oh yeah, let me. Let's see if I can find.
Just
something.
Final Fantasy combat music starts playing. Oh shit!
Yeah, it's a boss music.
Let's do that one. Oh, there we go.
Well, before we go up here and I start talking to these people, what's our objective here? Like, what are we trying to do with these people?
You guys have free movement if you want.
Well, I mean, we're looking for helpers. With from the looks of this, they may know a good place to start. There's no way they're tending to this as a simple small family.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just kind of stroll up here a little bit and just be like, I'll just yell out, "Hey, anyone home?"
You hear a little bit of movement inside, and someone unlatches a door and comes out.
Beelzebub. Oh.
She says, "Hello. How can I help you?"
Good day. We are in need of workers for a project that we're working on, and was wondering if you might know of a good place to find some.
I believe Beckingsdale and Lakemore. That's probably the two nearest cities. I'm unable to help you right now. But she tells you, hello, she introduces herself as Katsugaki. She's a champion of Solna. She goes, "This is my home. You're welcome. If you cause no trouble. Because I have food and beds if you need rest."
Okay, well, I'll introduce myself, and do you want me to introduce you guys, or would you like to introduce yourselves?
And she looks to be like 21 years old. She's got like similar garbs as you. But she only thing she carries is a staff with her.
I'd say introduce as a group.
Okay, so I'll introduce myself and all of my companions here.
Alright. And she greets all of you. Come in if you would like. There's fresh food on the fire, and I have drink and a warm house. Do you have any animals that need to be stabled?
No, not currently, no.
And she heads inside.
Okay, so I guess let's go in.
I guess so.
Alright. You have free reign to the house. There's food that is sitting out. There is a stove that stuff is cooking on. There's a fire going. If you look down to you guys can see the map, right? So there's 2 beds there. She has her bed there. You're not seeing a lot of like personal possessions. Like there's no pictures or nothing. It's very I want to say
Spartan.
Yeah, just very sparse items in here. Like there's nothing that would say that this is her home.
She's the champion of what?
Solna. And Solna you would know as a god. The god, or a divine of light.
So this might be like a House of the Order then, or something.
We might. This is Zumi talking to Zune.
Okay.
If she has livestock, now would be a good time to see what kind of prices she paid to help us get an idea what a fair price could be.
Okay, yeah, that's not a bad idea. To get a little trade info.
So why are you looking for workers? I mean, what kind of workers? Are you looking for, like, an armor smith?
Miners primarily, and perhaps a steward to take care of a keep.
Are you talking about Lakemore?
That's what it used to be known as.
Oh, it has a new name?
Well, the keep, yes.
Oh,
just the keep.
I haven't left here for 2 years, so any information that you could tell me would be helpful.
Let's just say the keep is under new management.
Well, that's good. Have you been down below the keep?
We were slaves there at one point.
That's terrible. What about the door?
The door remains shut.
It's a problem we want to solve.
Me too. Are you?
How do you know about the door?
I have been 2 years ago. I was tracking a individual, and I've met them at this spot, and I lost. They got the jump on me, and they bound me here. And I've been here for 2 years. I have
bound to this home.
I can only go about 60 feet. So there's the well in the middle and about 60 feet either way. So 2 years I've been building a small home and barn, and there's a device through people that have been looking for me. I've been able to talk to them, and they've tried to get into the keep and they've located where the device is, and they believe it's behind that door.
So basically what you're saying is you're bound to this plot of land, essentially?
Yes. For 2 years.
So
I'm going to do an Arcana check.
Okay.
Just to see if I can
For
get a feel for what kind of magic that they used to bind her here.
Okay.
And let me make sure that that's what Arcana is good. Let's see. Magical traditions. Spells. Okay, so maybe.
If we do go after the door, do you still have someone who can come and help us? It does sound like there's a mighty horde down there.
You know, it's an enchantment. Basically, an item has been enchanted right next to the well, where the well was. And it basically prevents her from leaving.
Okay, so it's an enchanted item, essentially.
It's like an enchanted kind of a device that sits there, and it looks like there's a rod that would be inserted in that would break the enchantment.
Okay. That's good knowledge to
One
have,
of us
at least.
have a rod?
Yeah.
I think
I've got the rod of movement, the immovable rod, or whatever.
And that wouldn't be the rod that she's looking for.
Oh, but it's a rod.
Yeah, I know.
Rods go in holes, right?
And she goes, yeah, there was this foul wizard named Veldani bound to me here.
That guy keeps coming up.
Do you know why he bound you here?
Well, I was tracking him, looking to dispose of him and to kill him, but he got the jump on me and kind of tricked me. I was inexperienced. I can offer some assistance. I mean, I can't leave, of course. But if you guys will do this for me, what are you looking for? She's like, I have livestock that my sister has brought me some livestock here. She lives in Lakemore City, and so she says she has a cow and 3 pigs, and she's willing to. She's like, I can part with them if you guys get me out of here. I can let you have them out in services. She's like, I am able to train warriors.
It's an interesting proposition.
And she also said, I also have some weaponry. And she holds out these 5 arrows.
Alright, boys, why don't we talk outside for a moment? This is a big undertaking. We should have a group conference. No offense to you, my dear.
And she goes, sits down, and she kicks her feet up and just starts drinking some tea. Eating a couple biscuits she's made.
So, boys, do we really want to risk pissing off Veldani when we literally just entered into a bargain with him? Or do we think we could possibly play dumb, clear out the goblins and not know what we did to help her?
I think that's the only way we're going to be able to play it. This Veldani guy's no good. He's bad news regardless.
Yeah. Boy, there's no way she'd be able to come to the keep, because if he showed and she's there, we're dead. Or we could have our guards come to her here, train, and then come back to us.
Yeah, that's probably the best plan.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I mean, the free livestock is good, and the training for the guards would be great, but I agree with Moore. I could honestly see with Veldani's presence, he may very well be having the keep under a close watch, especially if those crystals really are that important to him.
I wouldn't be surprised if he is keeping an eye on us too, but it wouldn't surprise me.
That just cements my belief further that eventually he needs to die.
So, who makes the deal with her? the livestock and her training the guards for us here, but she's not allowed to come to the keep. And how do we say that without being, oh, hey, you know, you're plagued. We don't want you anywhere near the keep. We don't want to offend her.
Well, I do have a really good persuasion bonus.
Could we just be honest?
Yeah, anything we do, we'll have to take small steps at least, because
she is a champion of light too, so yeah, it may not be best to not try to be dishonest.
Yeah, we don't want to be dishonest with her. Definitely need to, like I was saying, if we are going to go against Veldani, you know, smaller steps would be better. Something.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything open just yet.
Yeah.
So why don't Zune and I write up a quick agreement stating, you know, if we are able to clear out the den, we'll leave her with 1 pig, take 2 pigs of the cow, and then we will send our guards to her for training, and we just leave it at that. We don't go any further, so that we're not lying, but we also don't reveal our entire hand.
Okay, so I'll pull out my quill and ink and stuff and start scratching this down.
Okay.
Yeah, and don't guarantee that we can do it. Just say that, you know, if we are able to achieve this, this is what we would want in return.
I know it wouldn't hurt if she knows of another way to open up that door, because I don't think I'll be able to pick it with my skills.
That's why I'm kind of hoping by agreeing to this that she may give us that information. Boy, we can always kick it in.
Before. Well, I mean, yeah, there's other ways, I'm sure, but if she has a way, knowing about it before we make the agreement helps.
Okay, well, the agreement's ready.
Okay. And you guys, I assume you guys came back in, or call her out, whichever ones. So what is the deal you want?
2 pigs and the cow. Leave her with a pig for food, of course.
Okay.
And we send any guards or soldiers we get to her here for training, versus her coming to the keep.
Okay. That is that's if you guys return the rod to her, right?
Yeah, if we're able to clear out the goblins and get this item.
She agrees that she will train 4 people, 1 for each of you, 4 members. Or if you require that training, I mean, she could train one of you guys if you want, but she'll train 4 soldiers to defend your keep, as long as you bring the rod back to her. Once she has the rod, she says, I will not go to the keep. She goes up, more likely she'll head off to her sister in Lakemore City.
That's pretty convenient as well, so.
And
So do you...
But she said, do you want the livestock now or upon completion of this? Is this, I mean, in good faith? Do you have any? And she wants a letter written out, and she'll have you guys sign it, and then she'll sign it and make a copy and everything. So you guys have a binding agreement.
I could see, and I'm saying this to the group, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and do the livestock now as kind of the upfront
She's
payment.
like, I'm not going anywhere, so they're going to be here.
Well, if we do it now, we might, pick it up on the way back to the keep.
Yeah, obviously.
As long as she's okay with that, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, she says they'll be here.
Would we be able to use the cart that you have to haul hook up the cow and haul the pigs in the cart? We can bring the cart back.
Sure. You can do that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we've Zune Zunanar has the agreement we've already written up for you.
All right. She signs it. Katsugaki, the champion of Solnar, she puts a big S on it with kind of like a sun around it. So
do you have a way into that door, or know of how to get into the door?
I know the person that locked the door is what's his name? Veldani. He's the one that locked the door. So getting through that door, I've had people that have come to my cabin before. I've sent to go there, and they've not returned. But if there's a door that enters into a cave, you would think there's an exit somewhere else.
Yeah, the goblins got to get in there somehow, or they'd be dead by now.
But we have not able to find that.
And remember the gray dwarf that we found buried there. They may have subterranean tunnels.
Do you say that
run
out
into
loud?
that? Yeah.
She's like, what gray dwarf?
Oh, I tried to say, we found a gray dwarf buried at the keep.
I would not trust the gray dwarves.
Oh, believe me, I don't.
Interesting. I think I'm ready to head to the town.
All right. And she says, I'll be here. You guys are welcome to come and go as you please. Thank you for not disrespecting my land. She does want to give you a letter, though. She's like, can you take this to the prism?
I'll take it since I gotta go there anyway.
Okay. And it's sealed and everything, so.
I tell her, certainly, yes, I will. I have business there myself, so I will deliver this while I'm there.
Okay. And she does want to give you guys, since you are helping, she wants to offer you, where is it? Did I put it? Nope, I did not put it there. Okay, I'll look it up real quick. So where's your inventory? Here we go. She gives you 5 + 1 arrows to help you.
Nice.
She's like, that's all I have left for help. So who you can take whoever those?
I will grab those if you guys don't mind, since I got the longbow.
No, go for
it. Were these arrows meant for Veldani?
These are just arrows I carry with me.
Finely crafted ammunition.
Yes. And try to find something. Yeah, I can't find it. Alright. As you guys are leaving, rounding the corner of the eastern side of the house, you see a large purple unicorn. Like almost like a size of a warhorse.
It's My Little Pony, isn't it?
And she just she messages, she's like, that's my steed. She's like,
interesting.
And she waves and she goes, "Good travels. Be wary on the roads." Of course, I've not been out of this place for 2 years, so I'm not sure what dangers lie ahead of you. But she gives you a quick salute and blessing.
Hmm.
And
I'm done here, so.
Yeah.
She heads back inside. All right. Going back onto the road, you guys. Let me get the right map up here. You guys continue, and you're about, I want to say, you travel the whole day. And it's over land, like hills and stuff like that, and the road seems pretty fine. You start seeing people, a group of people in the distance.
Are they stationary or?
They look like they're coming
Can we
towards
tell?
you, and it looks like to be about 30 people.
Do they look pissed?
They look like they're hurrying towards you. And make a perception check for all of you.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, jeez. Oh my God.
There's a snow cone stand behind you. That's what they're running towards.
And let's see, where is his?
Okay, so Zumi and Mordagas, you're watching the people come towards you, and they look like they're wearing like decent clothing and stuff like that, but it looks like it's in like ashy, like their clothing has been burned. Some of them look like they're holding like their head or something like that, and you gaze up a little bit further and you see smoke rising behind them. What you can only assume is Beckinsale.
Okay, I think this time the town is on fire.
Well, gents, I think there's a problem at the city.